Is there one thing that's holding you back from what you want to manifest? Is it an energy like self doubt or anger? Is it distraction? You're thinking of other things. Or what's holding you back could be an emotion. Maybe your soul feels sad because you aren't truly fulfilled. Or maybe it's something tactical, a real world action step that you're missing. Or maybe you're just tired of trying to manifest. The struggle is real. So, whatever it is, what you want to manifest might be closer than you think. So, stay tuned. What do you do when your dreams feel unreachable, your reality feels close to unbearable, and no matter how hard you work to shake things up, no matter how much time and effort you put into changing your life, you still feel deeply, painfully, and hopelessly stuck? What you need is alchemy. What is alchemy? Well, it's a process that changes or transforms something in a magical way. You can discover how to create this very practical form of magic in your own life, shifting your energy in a way that dissolves the obstacles in your path to literally bring success to you. My name is Remy, like Do Re Mi, and I'm a best-selling author. Knowing how to unlock this hidden power, how to take back your resilience so you can just move forward, is the battle cry of anyone who's been through one of life's crushing setbacks. Luckily, unlocking your hidden power is easier than it might seem. I have something that I think you'll enjoy, and you can get started with this very practical form of magic right here, right now. Simply click below. Okay, let me jump off the screen here so I can see my laptop. Today, we're talking about what to do when something you've wanted to manifest feels like it's right on the verge of coming to fruition, but the tipping point just isn't there yet. I was inspired to do this episode because a client said to me last week, I'm such a pragmatic, logical, action oriented person, but I feel like I'm here in this earth school to restore my original creative abilities to create my success from a higher stream of consciousness and not necessarily from real world action. Hmm. Can you relate? Do you sometimes feel that your ego is the one setting all the goals and driving all the action when there's a deeper or maybe a higher part of you that's wanting to be recognized for an ability to create success? If you aren't getting the success you want in full abundance, however you identify with success, and if you're wanting to tap into a greater knowingness and align with the higher consciousness of your infinite self, instead of the lower ego thinking that pushes desires away, then today's episode is for you. It's time to be unabashedly, unapologetically, happily untethered to ego thinking. It's time to align with our soul's path instead. Today's episode is for you if you wonder how to manifest something in just 24 hours. That's a tall order. Today's episode is for you if you wonder the single biggest thing that blocks your manifestation, and this might be something new. Today's episode is for you if you wonder how you can use others' thoughts and ideas to help you on your journey. Yes, these episodes are about how to find your hidden power when you want to transform challenges into successes. I like to call it the audacity of alchemy, because when we're feeling stuck, it's never the situation that has us stuck. It's our energy about it that's become stuck in anxiety, overwhelm, doubts, worries, frustrations, indecision, even anger. And often, this is because of a spiritual injury that we've experienced, some kind of hidden trauma. So it isn't the pain of the situation, it's the pain of not being connected in the natural energy of who we really are, of being connected to that magical part of us that's a creative vibrational being who can use positive energies to create what we want and bring it into physical manifestation. We can watch our manifestations materialize and not get stuck in the negative vibrations that block them if we know how. These positive energies that we talk about so much are where we find the magic of alchemy. Because our choice of frequency, our choice of those higher energy thought patterns can change the course of our journey. And today we're talking about what to do when something you've wanted to manifest feels like it's right on the verge of coming to fruition, but the tipping point just isn't here yet. So I have a question for you. What if I told you that you can manifest anything you want in 24 hours? Would you immediately go into disbelief? Or would you simply wonder how? Think for a minute about what you'd want to manifest in 24 hours if there were absolutely no limits, no reasons, no obstacles, but just a bit of magic. What exactly would you want to manifest? And just write that down on a piece of paper or hold it in your imagination. What would that be? When I ask this question in my workshops, I always get the common answers: a new car, $1 million, a better relationship with my spouse. It's a serious question. Make a note of the time and date right here, right now. And what if in 24 hours, you could have anything you want in exactly 24 hours, like magic? What would it be? And as you sit with this for a moment, all kinds of limitations might start popping up. Oh, my business could never be at the level I want in just 24 hours. It's going to take a bit of runway to get there. Or my relationship with my business partner couldn't possibly improve in 24 hours. It might take months and months of therapy. Or my side hustle is just a side hustle. Quitting my full-time job just isn't in the cards right now, certainly not within 24 hours. One of the common reasons that we have trouble with our manifestations is because we have a can't, won't, don't on what we want to create. And here's what I mean by that. This can't possibly happen. It won't happen in a million years, much less in 24 hours. I don't know how to make this happen. We often have a can't, won't, don't. Or you may be one of those people who say, no, it's always a willingness. We have to be honest with ourselves and not say can't, won't, don't. We have to just be honest and say, I'm not willing. So manifestation can be tricky at first, but once we get the hang of it, it can become more second nature to where we have a little success over and over and over again when we want to manifest. And so one place we can start, and this is no surprise because we talk about it every week, but one place we can start is with our thoughts. Instead of thinking can't, won't, don't, or I'm not willing, we can use our mantras to put our thoughts into the right direction. And one of my favorite mantras, and I don't think I've ever told you this, but I'll put it on the screen for you. I can, I will, end of story. I can, I will, end of story. That kind of says it all, doesn't it? Now, if you aren't a mantra kind of a person, here's something you may have never considered. Thoughts can be our own, or they can also be someone else's. So when we read from spiritual masters, or we read from something from an inspirational author, or we listen to a podcast, our thoughts are following along. In other words, we're thinking as we go and either agreeing or disagreeing with what we're hearing or seeing or experiencing. And this can also help us to manifest depending on what we choose. So as an example, what if I were to show you this quote? When we set our mind to something, there's nothing we can't accomplish. Everything becomes possible. When we set our mind to something, there's nothing we can't accomplish. Everything becomes possible. What do you think about this? What are your thoughts? Do you agree? Disagree? Can you think of exceptions? Are you considering something you might like to try? And can you see how your thoughts were just inspired by this quote? As we've come to know, our thoughts create feelings, and I'll give you an example. A couple of years ago, my cell number ended up on a telemarketer's list. It was a fundraising attempt, and once one person got me to answer the phone, suddenly my number spread like wildfire to about 100 other volunteers, all with different cell numbers of their own, so I could never tell who was calling me exactly. So reporting it became nearly impossible because volunteers across the country were suddenly sharing my number with each other, because they got someone to answer the phone. And anyway, it took a lot of diligence, and eventually I got it to a point where it completely stopped. And then just last week, guess what? One of them got me on the phone. And I hate to admit it, but it sent my blood boiling. And there's the feeling. Remember, we're talking about thoughts and feelings. So I must have had a thought in order for a feeling like my blood boiling to come up. So what was my thought about it? Well, that's easy. Those jerks, I thought. I worked so hard to get this cleaned up so it would just go away, and blast it, here we go again. Right? Well, that wasn't just one thought. It was a bunch of thoughts. And those thoughts created the feeling. I didn't say, oh, these lovely people, it's so good to hear from them again. My thoughts created a feeling and my blood started boiling. Ugh. So, thoughts and feelings, let's move on. This idea of thoughts and feelings, well, it isn't new. And what we've learned over the years is that the universe responds to our thoughts. And more than that, it responds to our feelings. And so the point is, we can use other people's thoughts when ours become unhinged, simply by picking up an inspirational book or looking at spiritual quotes or using other people's thoughts and ideas to influence our own thoughts and ideas. And that idea may be new for you. Here's another insight that you might not have considered. Our beliefs aren't necessarily as ingrained or deep rooted or deep seated as we think. Our beliefs are nothing more than thoughts that we think over and over. One more reason that I love a good mantra, right? In fact, if you've never tried it, we can borrow a page from Transcendental Meditation, and that is this: to think one thought over and over. For instance, how about the one we did earlier? I can, I will, end of story. If I think that thought over and over, that thought soon becomes a belief. Now, if another thought comes in, simply redirect and refocus. That one thought that we say to ourselves over and over becomes a new and integral part of our belief system. At one of my workshops, someone said that we need to find a thought or a mantra that we have no opposing thought to, no contradiction. If we say, I am prosperous and abundant, there might be a part of us that says, that just isn't true. So we want to use mantras that we have no argument with. And I found for myself, and you might find the same thing, that when I say, I can, I will, end of story, I have trouble arguing with that. It kind of calls in a feistiness within me. And whatever movement or momentum I'm trying to create, it just seems to put a lot of power behind that. Okay, enough said on that. I'm trying to give you some new insights that maybe you've never heard before. And so here's one last one. We know all about thoughts and feelings and beliefs. We know about positive energies and negative energies. We know about toxic people and dealing with their ego thinking. Isn't that just the best? But one thing that you may not have considered when it comes to manifestation is timing. The timeline is not always your own. I remember when I was going through a particularly difficult time and I just wanted things to change, but they were deeply, painfully, and hopelessly stuck. And I was so tired of trying to manifest something different. And so I decided that I just wanted to put it behind me. And strange thing, but when I said that, I heard my intuition just as clear as day. My intuition said, wrong direction. Go up. In other words, I was told to not put it behind me, but to lift my frequency, to raise my energy to a higher vibration, to listen to a higher stream of consciousness, to not try and move myself along the timeline, but to move the energy. Here on Earth, timelines are very pragmatic. We think of linear time or time that's behind us or out in front of us. But when we scream to the heavens, when is this thing ever going to happen? Or why can't I just put this behind me? It isn't usually on a linear timeline. Often it isn't when, as in a date on the calendar. It may be when we change the energy. It may be when we lift ourselves into the higher frequencies, because we are creative vibrational beings who can use these positive energies to create what we want and bring it into physical manifestation if we don't get stuck in the negative energies that block them. Make sense? Albert Einstein, boy, he said it the best. Everything is energy, and that's all there is to it. Match the frequency of the reality you want, and you cannot help but get that reality. It can be no other way. This is not philosophy. This is physics. And if we're asking about timing, if we're being impatient because we're wondering whether something is going to happen on the calendar, then we aren't understanding that maybe the timing isn't right because we haven't evolved to where we want to be yet, energy-wise. Remember the client I told you about? She said, I'm such a pragmatic person. I feel like I'm here in this earth school to restore my original creative abilities, to create my success from a higher energy. Well, if you're listening to this right now, something attracted you to this episode today. So this may be you. You may know on some level that the thing you want to manifest, the thing that's so close, is simply waiting for you to lift your thoughts and energy about it just a little bit higher. And then what you want can manifest. We want to match the frequency of the reality that we want. Remember, to navigate our soul's path, all that's really required is a shift in frequency, a shift in our energy from negative emotions to positive emotions and positive energies. Because our choice of frequency, it's a choice, and it can change the course of our journey. So, reflecting back on everything we covered today, how can you apply what you've learned? Are you on the verge of something magnificent? What you want to manifest may be closer than you think. It may not be on the linear timeline, but is it waiting for you to go up in frequency to a higher energy? Well, I hope this helps you as you're using the powers of alchemy to transform challenges and obstacles into positive new successes. But if you still can't get your head around what's got you stuck, you can tell me about it. You can send me a question to questions@unlockyourhiddenpower.com, or I also have a free guide available for you if you'll simply visit unlockyourhiddenpower.com. Of course, if you're already right here on the podcast page and not listening through iTunes, then you'll see it right there for you at the top of the right-hand column. This is for you if you want to get unstuck from a situation and just move forward. For the past 10 years, I've been teaching people how to get unstuck. And so what I have for you here is an interactive full color workbook, and it's the first step in getting out of the sheer frustration of being stuck and spinning your wheels on success that seems elusive. So if you're in the middle of everything going wrong with no easy answers, then visit unlockyourhiddenpower.com for your free copy. Thanks for joining me today, and I'm wishing you a life filled with all the alchemy you need to bring success to you. Feel free to share this video with anyone you know who's feeling stuck, and don't forget to grab your free guide at unlockyourhiddenpower.com.